To quote, not so wise man, but a funny man, get ready, motherfucker, it's gonna get loud. I didn't even read an article about this, but heard several news stories, and I have opinions that I think make perfect fucking sense if you care about the United States being the United fucking States and having some form of a democratic republic or a constitutional democracy, something that shouldn't be radical, something that should just be mainstream to everybody. But no, Marjorie Taylor Greene, your dumb ass can't have a national divorce. Please, kindly shut your ignorant, anti-Semitic, fascist ass the hell up. I don't even know how the fuck you are in government still. Whoever the fuck voted for you is a bunch of inbred morons. Fuck it. No, we don't need a national divorce. Greg Abbott needs to do his job and listen to the Supreme Court. If a majority Republican Supreme Court, where the judges were appointed by one of the most horrible, by the worst president ever, if those motherfuckers can get together and go, yo, Greg Abbott, your border policies are so cruel, so vile, so absolutely fucked that we, where three of the justices were appointed by Donald Trump, are going to look at this and go, hey, that's pretty fucked up, man. And we were appointed by Donald Trump, who's a piece of shit. I just don't understand it. Like, I keep hearing this Civil War rhetoric or this pro-Civil War rhetoric. Like, well, what do you want? Like, liberal democracy versus neo-fascism? Is that your fucking argument? Is that what you want? Like, genuinely. Because, let's keep it real, it doesn't matter how many gun-toting, crazy people you have, you are not going to be able to fight off the United States military. This is a military spread all over the fucking world. We are considered the world's police for a reason. And it's a very, very powerful institution that rarely loses. So let's think about this practically. If it got to the point that you wanted to get to, you would be obliterated. You would be absolutely destroyed. There's predator drones, there's ballistic missiles. No automatic fucking weapon is gonna protect you against a fucking Terminator in the sky. I just don't understand this. This shit is mainly coming from the Republicans. MAGA Republicans who are out of their fucking mind. And if you are MAGA, you're crazy. Please seek psychiatric help. I am not being sarcastic at any means. I genuinely mean that. If you still support Donald Trump, you're a neo-fascist. I don't have a problem saying that. His rhetoric has gotten worse. People are trying to take him off the ballot for good reason, because he did a failed coup. If you do a coup, or a failed coup, or any type of coup against the United States, your crazy ass should not be allowed to run again. You should in fact be in prison for treason. Which, of course, Donald Trump is not. He is going to be the Republican nominee. It's going to be Trump or Biden again. Yay! These alter-coggers are really the best we have as a country? Are you out of your fucking mind? You know, maybe I'm more really curious. Please explain this shit to me. If you are MAGA. Why do you follow this man? Why? He is a known con man. He is a liar. He is a blatant authoritarian. Blatant fascists, like Trump, deny the results of a fair election. Donald Trump had no grounds to argue that the election was rigged. Every time he did, the case would be destroyed. Do you have critical thinking skills at all? Obviously not. I've heard these people. The level of arrogance, the levels of self-assuredness, the levels of pure, unfiltered arrogance is something I wish I had whenever I edited these fucking videos. Because I have a bachelor's degree. I graduated with honors. I know my shit politically. And yet, I question whether I know what I'm talking about on occasion. Donald Trump would throw you under the bus if he does another fucking January 6th. He's not gonna save you. He's gonna let you rot in prison, which is where you deserve to be if you participate in a failed coup. You shouldn't be getting out for a decade minimum. Because if you storm the Capitol on January 6th, you are a traitor. There is no sugarcoating that. You committed treason. The fact that these people have prison sentences that are in the span of months disgusts me. I believe in prison rehabilitation. However, when it comes to shit like that, you need to be made an example of if you do that. And that example has to be with a firm iron fist, which is what the January 6th fascist thugs did. They deserved harsher prison sentences than what they received. Going back to the topic at hand, I'ma just keep it real and I don't care at this point. You want to know my opinion on immigration? I'll give you my fucking opinion on immigration. This shit should be streamlined for people fleeing their country to come here so they can become citizens easier, so they can pay taxes, so they can learn English better, so they can fucking vote and become members of society. I believe that what Greg Abbott is doing is beyond cruel. His own party acknowledged how cruel that shit was. If you want a civil war, you are out of your mind. And you have the brain of a lemming if you want another civil war in this country. The United States is a very fragile thing. The institutions we have aren't as strong as we thought. And it's absolutely insane to me seeing Joe Biden potentially cave into harsher border policies that are cruel. It's absolutely immoral. It's absolutely fucked that I'm living in a world where people who are trying to escape whatever horrible persecution they're going through are demonized. Not saying everybody who crosses the border is an upstanding person. I'm not naive. But someone with a family, a husband, a wife, their children, shouldn't be scrutinized. Doesn't mean I don't believe in vetting. We need vetting. But what we have in this country is abhorrent. What's being done by some Republican politicians is cruel. And it is sadism. It is sadism incarnate. Because you can justify this crap with protecting our borders against invaders, you fucking racists. But at the end of the day, you give a shit about people, and you remember where the fuck you came from when it was your ancestors who were trying to escape the horrible persecution they were experiencing and going under, who had to experience not as bad maybe, but certainly horrid treatment when trying to become a citizen of this country. The horrible conditions they had to put their children through. Which, by the way, that same fucking party wants to bring back, which is absolutely wonderful. Yes, please bring back child labor. God damn, I fucking miss the Tea Party John Boehner asshole. At least that was an asshole you could somewhat understand. It was bad, but there was a reasoning behind it in some form. If you talked it out, if you listened to these people, you could find some rationality to their ideology. Even if you believe that ideology was absolutely fucked, you could find rationality behind it. You can't with these people. To quote Ron White, a great comedian, You can't fake stupid. That's exactly what MAGA is. It is stupidity of the American public incarnate. If you want stupidity within an American, it's the MAGA movement. It's the Trump supporters. It's the idiots who think the election was stolen. It's the idiots who think the fucking traitors who stormed the Capitol are victims. They're out of their fucking mind if they think that shit. You can't justify this level of cruelty being done unless you're just evil. Trump is too dangerous to become president again. And this country is in such a delicate state where if he did get reelected, we would be fucked. The one thing, big thing I take solace in and also have a lot of anger towards is this. I was hearing on Secular Talk commentary of him listening to what voters thought of Trump and Biden. And there was this one woman who had a very interesting point. She voted for Trump in 2016. In 2020, she voted for Joe Biden. And in this primary election, she voted for Nikki Haley. She said that something like this: I'm not going to allow fascism that my father fought off to be brought to my doorstep. I'm paraphrasing here. But it is so shocking and scary to see and hear some moderate Republicans talk about Trump similarly to how I talked about that motherfucker back in 2015. You know how fucking annoying that is? Well, actually, it's kind of simultaneously vindicating and also very frustrating. Because I called Trump out back in 2015, back in 2016, throughout his entire fucking presidency. I called him out, and I still call him out because he won't fucking shut the fuck up, and he's also the Republican nominee. So, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. I love that crap. The only good thing that gives me is more content to post on this channel. But it doesn't mean that a second Trump presidency is scary, considering how much damage he did when he was president, how horribly he handled COVID, how he refused to leave until he basically had to be told to leave or there would be fucking consequences. Like, hey, Don, if you don't leave the White House by Joe Biden's inauguration, we're gonna drag you out kicking and screaming. Those are the generals telling him that shit. When you see evil like Trump, it has to be fought tooth and nail. And it unfortunately wasn't fought off hard enough in 2015 and 2016. It's crazy. We do understand that Trump is a threat, but we don't have a president or a candidate that can articulately fight him. Joe Biden got lucky with how horribly Trump handled COVID. He made himself look like an absolute buffoon. People were dying. There were mass graves, for God's sakes. And I think most Americans looked at that and went, fuck this. I'll take the guy who's old and can barely finish a fucking sentence. Because at least that might bring about some type of calm, some type of normal, some type of peace. Even if it's a false peace. It'll be more peaceful than the shit we were dealing with under Trump. Now, with what Biden is doing with Israel, the fight against Trump just got a lot harder. So, thanks for listening to this rant video. Don't know how I'm going to title this. We'll see how this video performs.